Today we make a bed frame. It's a unique and cool bed frame because it's a Trundle bed frame that fits two full-size, extra-long twin mattresses. It's also primarily made of metal, and metal's cool and fun to work with. And so we have a fun time today making this bed frame. So thanks for watching and enjoy the video. Alright, so we're working on a new furniture project today. The main part of it involves some 14 gauge sheet metal, some 18 gauge 2-inch wide flat stock. It also means that we get to use the plasma cutter today. Alright, so trying to set this out here, basically I want two arches. An arch here, and then the flip side of that, an arch over there. And so to get that arch on here is what I'm trying to do right now, is lay down the arch. Alright, so I'm going to have to, in order to make this arc work, because it's so square, I'm going to have to make the legs come up a little bit, and then we'll start our arc. Alright, so I need to make a template for the plasma cutter to run around. I think that's easier at this point in time, so in order to do that, I'm making an arch, and I want the arch to have little straight shots up and then arch. Alright, and then I'm marking my centers, one up here. Alright, now I've got my line coming up for the leg here, and then I've got a whole bunch of little dots making up my arc there. And now the plan is to connect them together. I'm gonna hold it up here. I'm gonna hold it in the center and the center at the top. And I'm gonna start going around these dots, and in theory, it should stay the same length all the way through. Alright, so there's that side. Alright, so now I've got an arch here that I should be able to cut this out and then run the plasma cutter along the outside of it, and that should cut out exactly what I want on my sheet metal. Now our next step is to cut it out using a jigsaw. Yeah. There it is! We got it. It's cut out, man. It's cut out. And so now I'm gonna go through and refine some of these edges a little bit with sandpaper, and then we're good to go. Alright, so I've got my edges sanded up, cleaned up a little bit, and everything is nice and smooth the way I want it in terms of this arc goes over nice and smoothly. So my next step is to transfer this onto the actual sheet metal. Alright, so on here I have got things marked out in terms of where this stuff should fall, so that when I lay this on here, I should be able to line it up with this line right here, and it should automatically line up with this line over here, which it appears to do. Haha! Clamp this guy down. Got it clamped down, and then I should just be able to just trace that out with the plasma cutter. Oh man, that'd be awesome. Alright, so there it is, basically cut out, man. Look at that. What a beautiful thing this plasma cutter is, man. Look how clean that cut is. Woo! Alright, so my next step is to square up this piece of sheet metal. It's not supposed to be this wide, it's only supposed to be about that wide. So I've got this marked out already. I just need to get a straight edge on there, clamp that down, and then we'll plasma cut that nice straight line as well. This guy up here. I do have some slag on the edges, so I'm going to go ahead and clean that up with a grinder. Just go around all this stuff. Now I've got some 2-inch wide flat stock here. We need to cut this. Alright, so now I've got a hoop bent up for each arc, and now is the time where I get to try and weld these things in there and see how well that goes. Alright, so I've got the main sheet metal part here all prepped out, ready to weld. So one side is done, and now it's time to put on the other side here.
And today's topic, featuring artists.
I love this table, by the way. This is a great example of how having the correct tool makes your life a lot easier. So here's the underside of it when it's put together. And you can see the little brackets we just made. Those guys here, I've got to screw this so I can screw this cross brace, this metal support is screwed to the plywood. And these cross braces go down. We got 3 of these and they bolt to the legs of the bed. We've got a bolt on either side there. This is 1-inch square tubing. I think it's like 11 gauge, which is pretty heavy duty stuff. But even that, it has some deflection when you sit on it. And I may modify this in the future and increase the height to 2 inches. Bring this down a little bit so it has more strength there and less deflection. Alright, now we're in the bedroom here where the bed's actually going to go, and for the trundle, for the stuff that rolls underneath it, we've got a piece of plywood of the dimensions we want for this, and then I've done 2-inch angle iron on this guy. I basically have a frame of 2-inch angle iron, and I have bolted this down through the plywood so that it's secured on the other side here with a nut. And now we got to add wheels to the bottom side of this so that it will roll. I was planning out where the wheels are going to go, and then we'll add them on here. All right, now with all my wheels on the bottom here, I've got 8 in total. I'm going to go ahead and flip this thing down and put the mattress on it. So I've got these are fixed wheels, and they're all in this direction. So this thing will just roll in and out. And then the angle iron here, it also acts as like a little handle. So you can get your fingers underneath here and push and pull this thing. Look at that. Whoa, we got so much space in here now. Check that out. That is such a space-saving thing right there. Oh man. I've got about this much space between the beds, so you've got enough room to actually have the bed made and then roll it underneath there. We can have room for a comforter and everything on top of the bed and still be able to stow it away underneath the top bed.